Welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Foundations. I was thinking about it the other day, and with our name being Kitchen Foundations, what is one of the most foundational things that you can have in your culinary arsenal? And the number one thing that you can do at home to make your cooking better is to make your own chicken stock, bone broth, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much the best thing that you can have in your freezer or your refrigerator to make just about anything better. You can make sauces better, rice better, soups definitely. You can throw some into vegetables that are cooking. Risotto, anything, pretty much anything, is better with a little bit of homemade stock. And stick around. I'm gonna show you how you can do that without having to jam pack your freezer. I live in an apartment, so I only have a freezer that's about this big. I don't have a chest freezer anymore. We don't have the space for it, so space comes at a premium around here, and I'm going to show you how you can concentrate it so that it only takes up about the size of a Ziploc baggie. So what do you need to make really good chicken stock? Well, chicken. That's the first ingredient. I've got a couple whole birds here. I'm gonna show you how to break those down really quick and then use the carcasses. I also use the wings because on two birds there's only 4 wings, and that's not quite a meal. So I could save them, but they have a lot of good collagen and stuff that adds to the stock. So I just end up throwing them in with it. You could just buy wings. They work too. Some butcher shops will sell just chicken bones if you don't want to butcher your own. You can also collect bones as you are roasting chicken legs or even breasts that still have the rib meat in it. I do both. I'm going to show you that I save that when we cook different pieces of chicken. And we have bones left over. I just throw them in the freezer until it's time to make a batch. So I'll add those in with the carcasses that we harvest from butchering these 2 chickens. And what you're also going to need is a big stock pot. I got this at Home Goods for like 30 or 40 bucks. It's a David Burke 12 quart. It's stainless steel. It's made in China, so I don't really love that, but I really couldn't afford an all-clad one. All-clads demand about $300-400 for a made in the USA clad stainless steel stock pot. I wasn't willing to pay that, so I got what I could afford, and sometimes that's what you have to do. I don't like buying all cheap cookware, but you gotta pick your battles and spend your money where you can. So I decided to buy nicer cast iron, enamel cast iron and things like that, and went a little bit cheaper on my stock pot. But don't buy aluminum. This pan is aluminum that is a roasting pan, but I tend to not use it very often. Aluminum is not the best for you, so I try to stay away from it as much as possible. I know you can't eliminate it completely, but I try to cut it out where I can. So let's get started on butchering these chickens, and we'll get started on making the stock after that.
So you're going to want to start with a somewhat dried off chicken. I patted mine down with just some paper towel. It just makes everything easier if it's a little bit drier. First, we're going to take off the wings, and I'm using just a basic kitchen utility knife to kind of show you that you don't need fancy carving or boning knives or butcher knives or anything like that. It's a little bit more difficult with the utility knife, but I just did it for demonstration purposes. We're getting both the wings off, and we'll throw those directly into the stock pot because we're not going to save them. Next, we're going to take the 2 legs and crack the bones. It makes it a little easier to butcher. So you just cut down by where the breast is for the skin, and then you want to make a deep cut behind the thighs so that you get the oyster muscle. It's actually the best bite of a chicken. It's a fatty little part of the thigh. So we're going to get the leg off, and then we got the other leg off. And next we're gonna get rid of the wishbone. So you just take your knife and you scrape inside of that little cavity there, and then you can just work your fingers in there and snap the bone off. This will allow you to get a cleaner cut when you are butchering the breast off of the bird. So what you do is you find the keel bone, which is basically the center bone in its chest, and you just peel directly with your knife on that bone. And there's Winnie making a guest appearance. That's our little Pomeranian. So anyway, you just keep slide your knife across that bone until you get to the bottom, and then the breast should just come straight off. When you're butchering, gravity is your friend. So you just kind of pick the piece of meat up and let the knife find the path of least resistance. It's usually your best bet. So there was the carcass, and we threw it into the stock pot. We repeated this process with the other chicken too. Now we're just washing our carrots and celery. Also have an onion there, and this is going to be the mirepoix that goes into our stock pot as well. Just a rough chop. It just as long as it's not huge, it'll be fine. It's gonna get cooked for hours, so it doesn't really matter how you cut it. Some people use the skins of the onion. I don't, but I don't peel the carrot. And then we got a couple bay leaves that we're gonna throw in the pot as well. And then we are going to use 3 cloves of garlic. I pulled the skin off of this as well, and then cut the little knob off. You can leave it on, but I don't like to. Then we're just going to fill the pot with water. If you don't really like the taste of your water that you have at your house, I would recommend getting just some spring water from the store, a couple gallons of it. Our water tastes okay, so I just use that. Once it comes up to a simmer, you're going to have this little foam and scum that comes on, and you just need to take a kitchen spoon and kind of just skim it away. It's what the French call dépouiller. It means skimming the scum. And if you don't do that, you'll have a little bit grittier, murkier stock. So, with all the chicken pieces that we butchered, I'm just going to vacuum seal them and then put them in my freezer for a later date. I just do it. There's 2 of us, so I put 2 pieces in each bag. That's one of the leg quarters, and then I'm looking for its yang to that ying. And then as soon as we get all the pieces in there, I opened all the bags first so that I didn't have chickeny hands when I was filling them. I then washed my hands again, and now we're starting to vacuum seal. There is always a risk of botulism when you are creating an anaerobic environment, which means no oxygen, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I've never had a problem with that. And then after about 3 hours, your stock should be done cooking. So we are just straining it through that little mesh wire strainer, and I missed an onion if you can see that, but we're going to strain it again. So I pulled it back to the stove and just skimmed it off with that strainer. And then we need to cool it because it's too hot to go in the refrigerator like that. So I have a deep sink, so I just fill it with cold water, and I get it up to about 3/4 of the pot. I stir it a little bit. I repeated this process 2 or 3 times, and then put it in the refrigerator. And the next day, this is what we had. So that's all the fat that was in the stock. It rises to the top after it gets cold. And then next we're gonna reduce it by like 3/4. I know this is going a little bit fast, but so we reduced the amount of stock we had. Just boiled it down for I don't know an hour, and we reduced it by 3/4, and then we strained it again, and this is the resulting liquid that we came up with. It's super golden. We didn't roast the bones at all. That's just from reduction. Great color on that. And then on the next day, you're gonna have this little chicken jello. You got to have it in your refrigerator for at least 48 hours. I did it overnight. And then this was the next day. And then we just kind of scoop it out. And it doesn't matter if it breaks up a little bit, it's going to. Just depends on how much collagen was in your chicken bones. So basically, I just wanted little pieces that I could freeze and not have one big giant block. So just little pieces of chicken jello, basically. And then they go in the freezer and then overnight, and this is the result that we get.
So there you have it. Chicken stock in a concentrated form. What can you do with this? The bigger question is, what can't you do with this? This little technique here will make almost all of your cooking better, from stocks and soup, or I'm sorry, not stocks, this is a stock. But anyway, from soups and sauces to vegetables to rice and grains, risottos, pretty much anywhere you could add water, you could add this, and it would be a huge flavor boost. When you're sick, this is great. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and it's full of collagen, so it's good for your skin and your hair and your nails. It's truly a superfood, and you definitely should be making it. I know there's a lot of time involved with it, but once you get it going, it's really low maintenance until the next day, and then it's low maintenance again until the next day, and then it's low maintenance. So it takes 2 to 3 days, but you're really not doing that much. It's a lot of idle time. You just got to kind of stay home when you're cooking it. You don't want to leave because it could evaporate too fast or something like that. So you want to be home when you're doing it, but rainy afternoon, it's a great project. Snowy afternoon, it's a great project. It's a great project whenever. I highly, highly, highly recommend you give this a shot, and you won't be sorry that you did. So anyway, like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and this is Kitchen Foundations, and we will see you later. Bye.